There's no doubt that Tony Hawk is the most famous skateboarder on the planet. But if you ask me, the biggest legend is Danny Way. He called me up a few months ago and he said, hey dude, what do you think about going down to Colombia and getting pumped full of stem cells to try to get our bodies going again so we can keep pushing the boundaries? And I'm like, of course. And knowing Danny, it was no shock that he's setting out to set a Guinness World Record for having the most stem cells pumped into a human ever.
Here we are today in Colombia. So just prior to this trip, a few days prior, I just had surgery on both my knees and my right ankle. Then I jumped on a plane with Steve-O and flew to Medellin. You know, living the life that I've lived, it's put me in a position where I had to be my own investigator, and I had to search out a lot of things on my own. Not even some of the doctors I work with are looking as far out as I am.
The uniqueness of a Danny Way for me as a physician has been how informed and self-educated he has made himself. Obviously, I've encountered an awful lot of high-level athletes over the period of time that I've treated patients. And
talking to my doctor about microfracturing surgery, because I've done some homework on that, and he said, yeah, it's a great option to help regenerate cartilage because it stimulates the bone marrow stem cells to come through the bone and promote cartilage regeneration. And I had an epiphany and I was like, well, wait, how would that work if we married that to the mesenchymal stem cell procedures that BioAccelerator is doing in Colombia?
It's the first time that we receive a patient that we're going to be able to put cells in very recent surgeries done microfracture, because you know that when they do the microfracture, you're getting stem cells from the bone marrow coming out, and we're going to be able to inject even more stem cells in. So you have your own stem cells that are from the bone marrow, our stem cells. So I just can't imagine what's going to be the regenerative process that you're going to go through in your knees.
Think of it this way. You have a field that hasn't been farmed on for years, right? And you want to plant some crops in that field. The first thing you need to do is you need to rototill the soil. You need to turn that soil, get it mulchy, get it loose. So that way when you go and you plant all the seeds, they're able to integrate into that soil, in return soak up all the fertilization, that all the vitamins and all the minerals that live in that soil can feed those seeds.
Over the course of the last 5 years, Danny's just been skateboarding with bone on bone in his joints. And he's been skateboarding on the mega ramp, doing crazy street tricks. I can't even understand how he's even walking, let alone still pushing himself on a skateboard. Plus, what makes him such a legend isn't even the things that he accomplished, it's the things he accomplished while broken. I mean, in 2008 at the X Games, he does this huge air on the mega ramp, hangs up on the coping, takes the most brutal slam ever. And you'd think the guy looks like he's dead, but he gets back up and just fights his way up the ramp. He's gonna go do it again. And he does, and he wins.
Danny, taking the elevator back up to the top to do it again.
This is unbelievable to see Danny coming back.
Come on, Danny. Make this one safe.
What? Oh my gosh! No way!
What in the world?
Are you kidding me?
What are you? Look
I
at
was
this.
holding my breath on that.
Oh my God. There is no can't in Danny Way.
So the idea is that we're going to drain the fluid today, put the stem cell tomorrow, because we want that the stem cells are not going to be getting diluted in all the fluid that you have. So we need to take the knee the most dry possible to to then inject the stem cells. So like what we need is that all of that liquid that you have in there for inflammation, like we take it off, so you have the cells, when we put the cells in, they're gonna sense the microenvironment of your knee, so they're going to sense that inflammation is going on right there. And after they sense, they're going to start releasing all of these growth factors that are going to stimulate your own cells to regenerate and to control chronic inflammation.
With Danny, we have a lot of old injuries and new ones. We're going to try to help his process of healing on both rotator cuffs as well as the cartilage that covers the joints on his shoulders. We're trying to improve the cartilage in the left elbow. We're going to try to heal fibrocartilage complex injury, and we're going to help on his both knees and both ankles. He has a lot of injuries, and we are going to try to help him in the healing process.
Fresh from the lab.
Fresh from the lab. Okay, so a lot of things happened.
Broke my right ankle like 4 times. I've had probably 8 surgeries or 9 surgeries on it now. Shattered my elbow joint where I can't straighten this arm. This arm will never straighten again. I have limited range of motion both ways. Destroyed my AC joint on this shoulder, so I've actually had the clavicle bone cut off, so it's just hanging and doesn't even attach itself into the joint anymore. My right shoulder, I've torn the labrum and the rotator cuff, totally ripped this shoulder apart, had it fully reconstructed. I broke this wrist 4 times. I've sprained it, I don't know, I couldn't even count how many times it's been sprained. I've had surgery on this knee once. I've had 4 ACL knee reconstructions on this knee, and currently I have a torn ACL in it again. So I'm up against another one, which will bring the count to 5.
We have your symptoms, okay?
So when I was 18, I had a heavy trauma to my neck. I had a hematoma on my brainstem, and I also tore the ligaments that hold your head onto your atlas vertebrae. In return, I crushed 2 discs, C5 through 7. I mean, Steve was the reigning champion of the Anesthesia Challenge, but just in recent times, I was able to, it's still arguably, there was maybe some rule breaking and stuff, but we're still. No, not this. Talking about last week. So yes, we are sitting on a tie right now, and all due respect to the King of Pain, but I do think that I'm going to prevail today. So here we are in beautiful Medellin, Colombia, on the 3rd stop of the global tour, Anesthesia Challenge tour, and I have a group of doctors here that are going to try and put me out, and I don't know if it's possible, so I'm going to explain why I'm here in the meantime. After years of abuse to my body and especially my neck, I have done quite a bit of damage to my thoracic spine, especially through C5 through 7. C5 through 7, I have a substantial amount of degeneration and spinal stenosis, and the bone spurring, the amount of space that my spinal cord has to work with that environment is not very, it's definitely not on my side. So, BioAccelerator has been such a leader in these innovations, taking people from their most desperation, controversial situations, and I really love I just want to, I want to marry everybody that has good intention, and I'm like, everybody wants love. Can we get? I ran out of space. I could have kept going.
You can ride on the other side if you want to, or on the side.
I think I covered most of it.
Okay, tell us a little bit what you wrote real quick. That's just that cute.
Well, the first thing is I wrote pain-free. Second one was improve the quality of life. Obviously, if you're pain-free, you're improving the quality of life. And the third one I wrote was skateboard full speed ahead for another 20 years. So, I mean, I don't know what else I could ask of. I mean, like, realistically, getting out of pain is like the main thing. And then if the joints are regenerate, if I can get the joints to regenerate, then it gives me the ability to do what I love, which is skateboarding, and that's going to bring happiness. So as long as I'm able to do that. Unfortunately, some injuries, there's no other option but surgery. And I'm in a position right now with a couple of those areas. Even, you know, the doctors at BioAccelerator said, your wrist needs surgery. You can't inject, you know, your knee with stem cells and grow a new ACL. That's just not gonna happen. It's just some things, there's limitations, you know? But there are a lot of situations that you could avoid surgery by using stem cell. So it's finding the line and the balance between what's treatable and what's not, you know? And it's also finding doctors that understand and are educated in what your treatment options are.
I mean, it's pretty incredible what's been going on down here. And if you told me when I was 15 years old, riding a Danny Way Pro model skateboard, that like I would be here with my hero. I mean, dude, the way that life pans out sometimes is crazy, dude.